Imagine coronation day. Elsa is nervous, but she keeps it together. No ice, no scandal. People applaud. Anna smiles, the gates stay open. Everything seems to be in perfect order, but on the inside, Elsa is still hiding Arendelle's greatest secret, and no one notices. There is no let it go, no ice castle, no escape. She bottles everything up and moves on, pretending that everything is fine, except it isn't. Without losing control, what emerges is silence. A silence that slowly eats away at the kingdom. Because if Elsa had never set herself free, Arendelle would lose far more than just a single summer. Coronation goes off without a hitch. Arendelle celebrates, the gates remain open, and the people rejoice in the kingdom's new era. Anna is excited, curious about the world beyond the walls, full of plans. Elsa on the outside seems steady, composed, in control. But it's only an appearance. On the inside, she lives in a constant state of alert. Every royal duty becomes a silent challenge. Meetings, speeches, public events. Everything demands extreme effort to keep her emotions contained. There is no hiding place anymore. She is the queen. She has to show up, lead, smile at the people, all while carrying a power capable of turning any emotional slip into a disaster. Without anyone noticing, Elsa begins to pull away. She sets rigid routines, cuts back on celebrations, limits public appearances. The gloves never come off, the distance never shrinks. To Arendelle, she is simply a reserved queen, cold, overly serious. No one sees the constant control behind every single gesture. Over time, fear stops being the exception and becomes the rule. Elsa starts to watch everything with suspicion. A glance held too long, a stretch of silence, an object out of place. Every detail feels like a threat. It's as if the truth is always on the verge of slipping out. Fear turns into paranoia. Sleep becomes rare. She isolates herself more and more inside the castle, and despite all her effort, the magic begins to leak out in small, impossible-to-ignore signs. Frozen floors, fogged glass from the inside, fabrics slowly stiffening. Elsa tries to fix it, hide it, erase every trace, but the tension never eases. And the cruelest part is the distance from Anna, not because of a lack of love, but because of too much of it. Elsa believes that letting herself feel too deeply is dangerous. Any intense emotion could be the trigger she simply cannot afford to pull. So Arendelle gains a queen who is flawless on the outside and completely alone on the inside. While Elsa locks herself into a rule marked by control and isolation, Anna follows the opposite path. She has movement, curiosity, a desire to live and to connect. Still, even with Arendelle's doors open to the world, Anna continues to feel alone where it hurts the most. Inside the castle, she insists on getting closer to her sister. She looks for conversation, tries to create simple moments, shows affection, but all she finds are silent boundaries. Elsa remains unreachable, responding with distance, trapped behind the formality of her title. She never lets her guard down. Anna doesn't understand this behavior and, little by little, starts to believe that she's doing something wrong. It's in this emotional void that Hans enters the picture. Always polite, attentive to details, willing to listen. He offers presence, validation, interest, exactly what was missing. Vulnerable and impulsive, Anna gets involved quickly. Faced with Elsa's emotional shutdown, Hans comes to represent comfort, and this time the decision goes beyond impulse. Anna agrees to the marriage and goes through with it. The union happens quietly and strategically, with enough political backing to hold weight. Elsa authorizes it as queen but remains distant, another choice that widens the gap between the sisters at a decisive moment. Shortly after, Anna leaves Arendelle alongside Hans, heading to the southern kingdom where his family holds power. The journey symbolizes a honeymoon, but also a definitive change. Anna wants to start over, far from the environment she's come to associate with her sister's distance. Till she leaves torn. The bond with Elsa doesn't break completely. There's always the possibility of returning, if things don't work out or if the longing becomes too heavy. The real problem is who stays behind in Arendelle. Hans. Before the departure, he assures that he will leave envoys at the castle to assist with diplomatic relations. Elsa, avoiding external tensions and fulfilling her political role, agrees. Without realizing it, she grants access to someone who never should have had it. While Anna believes she's beginning a new chapter, Hans starts to move with precision. Every step is calculated. The plan goes far beyond a convenient marriage. With Anna gone and Elsa increasingly reclusive, the kingdom enters a fragile period. The administration continues, but the queen rarely appears. Orders are sent through documents, and advisors take on responsibilities that once depended directly on her. Everything seems to function, but only on the surface. It's within this environment that Hans settles in for good. Even from a distance, he builds a network inside the castle. Guards, servants, minor nobles. People who begin to look favorably upon the southern prince, now tied to the royal family. With charisma, promises, and political positioning, Hans gradually secures support. No noise, no rush, but with clear intent. Elsa doesn't react. Not because she fails to notice, but because she is completely exhausted. Her body gives in, her mind falters, her emotions no longer respond. She feels that something is out of place, senses the kingdom slowly slipping toward danger, but can't find the energy to intervene. The fear of exposing her magic still guides every choice, and that paralysis gives Hans exactly what he needs. Time. Hans understands that nothing should be rushed. The more Elsa withdraws, the more obvious the absence of active leadership becomes in the eyes of the people. In contrast, the more available, confident, and organized he appears, the more acceptable the idea of a change in command seems. The goal isn't to overthrow the queen by force, but to wait for everything to collapse on its own. That collapse could come in many forms: a sudden illness, an incident inside the castle, a death surrounded by suspicion, or even a carefully manufactured scandal. Any event capable of weakening Elsa's image. Once power is destabilized, Hans positions himself as the safest alternative to restore stability, always at Anna's side, the legitimate heir. There is, however, a flaw in his plan. Hans is completely unaware of Elsa's true nature. He has no idea about her powers, and that ignorance could be costly. Closer he gets to absolute control, the closer he comes to awakening something he doesn't know how to face, and that even Elsa can no longer fully contain. With Anna far away and Hans expanding his political presence, Elsa retreats completely. Contact with the outside world nearly disappears. Commitments are avoided, doors remain closed, and the castle becomes her only refuge. There are no emotional outbursts or dramatic escapes. What exists is a deep weariness, built over years of repressing who she truly is. Sleep becomes fragmented, eating grows irregular, and any impulse to react fades away. She slips into a state of complete emptiness, and within that emptiness, something begins to happen. Unlike what happened before, the magic doesn't manifest abruptly. Cold doesn't burst out, it seeps in. Castle holds a constantly low temperature. Frost makes the doors hard to operate. The windows begin to freeze from the inside. Gradually, the kingdom's climate shifts. Winter arrives early, days grow darker sooner, and the snow refuses to melt. The population notices the change but can't understand where it's coming from. Not even Elsa understands it. She isn't trying to freeze anything, and yet the cold keeps spreading, and she doesn't react to stop it. She doesn't fight it. She doesn't resist. She simply begins to fade, as if she were disconnecting from reality itself, while Arendelle sinks into an increasingly oppressive atmosphere. The most unsettling part is the sense that the ice is acting on its own. As if the magic has taken control. Elsa still exists, but she is no longer truly present, and Arendelle begins to pay the price. Time passes, cold intensifies, until one day, Elsa disappears. No one knows what happened to Elsa. There is no confirmation of escape, illness, or death. Castle goes into a state of alert, but no answers emerge. Guards claim she was last seen walking alone through the corridors late at night. After that, complete silence. With the queen gone, Arendelle plunges into crisis. There is no succession plan. Anna has been out of the kingdom for months, and Elsa left no instructions. She spoke nothing of heirs, revealed nothing about her powers, prepared no emergency scenario. The effect is immediate. The advisors panic. The instability that already existed turns into an administrative collapse. At the same time, the winter worsens far too quickly. Nearby villages suffer from food shortages. Rivers freeze solid, blocking trade and supply routes. With no throne and no official explanations, the people begin to speculate. Rumors rise from every direction. Enchantment, conspiracy, betrayal. Some begin to say that Elsa was always a witch, merely hiding it. It is in this chaos that Hans sees his opportunity. He returns to Arendelle claiming he has come to help. He uses his marriage to Anna as proof of his direct connection to the royal family. With Elsa out of the picture, the argument works. Hans positions himself as the only figure capable of maintaining order and guaranteeing political stability. Some are suspicious. Others support him immediately, but the reality is simple. There is no alternative. Arendelle is paralyzed, freezing from the inside and out, and the only person who could explain the situation is no longer there. With Elsa out of the picture, the kingdom's future is left hanging, and the consequences go far beyond politics. Without Elsa being free, nothing that happens in Frozen 2 ever happens. She never hears the call, never travels to the enchanted forest, never discovers she is the fifth spirit, never understands the origin of her powers or the truth behind her parents' death. The forest remains sealed, the soldiers stay trapped, the nature spirits remain out of control. The imbalance grows with no one stepping in. To the outside world, the forest becomes nothing more than a distant mystery. In reality, the problem only keeps piling up. Without that journey, Anna and Kristoff never grow closer. Each follows a separate path. Anna stays away, possibly without ever knowing what truly happened to Arendelle. Kristoff continues his ordinary life with no connection to royalty. Without Elsa, without Anna's presence, without reconciliation, Frozen 2 simply doesn't exist. Everything changes because of a single choice. Elsa never ran away, never set herself free, and never told the truth. That decision completely alters the fate of the kingdom. Elsa disappears without ever discovering who she truly was. Anna marries Hans and vanishes from the story for a long time. Arendelle freezes permanently, and power falls into the hands of someone who always sought control. The enchanted forest remains isolated. The spirits stay unbalanced. The mystery surrounding Elsa's parents is never resolved. There is no rebuilding, no new beginning. There is no Queen Anna. There is no liberation. There is no happy ending. And Elsa's fate remains unknown. She may have been quietly eliminated, fallen victim to a conspiracy, or simply succumbed alone to her own exhaustion. If the truth about her powers were ever revealed, the situation would be even worse. With the Duke involved, accusations of witchcraft would be inevitable, and the people's reaction violent. In this scenario, Arendelle finds no solution. Kingdom simply collapses. If you made it this far, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next What If stories from this universe. Now leave a comment below. What do you think really happened to Elsa in this timeline? And don't forget to click on the next video already on your screen. This story continues there.